Parliament convened as usual, but from the very beginning, the atmosphere was charged with unease. Lawmakers had been cautioning for days that the upcoming debate on governance and public accountability would be far from routine. Reporters crammed into the press gallery, analysts prepared for a long session, and South Africans across the country tuned in with anticipation, sensing that the day's proceedings carried unusual weight. Attention soon turned to President Cyril Ramaphosa when opposition leader Mkhwanazi rose to confront him head-on. She launched into a list of grievances, accusing him of economic mismanagement and pointing to suspected failures in government transparency. From that moment, the session quickly departed from ordinary political ritual. The instant the president began his reply, it became clear this would not be a mild exchange of rhetoric but a combative showdown. Ramaphosa, relying on his trademark caution, attempted to defend his record by referencing ongoing investigations and stressing the importance of due process. His remarks, however, fell flat. Mkhwanazi, sharp, uncompromising, and direct, dismissed his words as hollow excuses and evasive political maneuvering. What followed was an escalating war of words. MPs erupted, hurling accusations across the chamber, and the usual parliamentary decorum collapsed into chaos. For the first time in years, Ramaphosa appeared visibly rattled. Outside the chamber, social media lit up in real time, with citizens and commentators dissecting every gesture, hesitation, and expression on his face. By midday, hashtags criticizing his leadership dominated national trends, with many observers calling the spectacle a rare humiliation for a sitting head of state. As the debate dragged on, disorder in the chamber deepened. Opposition MPs pressed harder, accusing Ramaphosa of dodging accountability, while ANC loyalists scrambled to shield him from the storm. Mkhwanazi intensified her interrogation, highlighting policy shortcomings, economic struggles, and rising public discontent. She came armed with documents, statistics, and verifiable examples that left little room for dismissal. The breaking point arrived when the president attempted to defend his government's handling of state contracts and public finances. His explanations, couched in technical and bureaucratic language, were swiftly dismantled as Mkhwanazi countered with concrete evidence of procurement violations and allegations of mismanagement. For a moment, Ramaphosa faltered, unable to regain control. Television cameras caught ANC members whispering nervously, their unease obvious. For the first time, the country saw a president on the defensive, struggling to maintain authority. Outside Parliament, the reaction was explosive. Footage of the clash spread instantly, replayed by stunned citizens who marveled at Mkhwanazi's unrelenting questioning and the president's increasingly strained composure. Clips of Ramaphosa fumbling with papers and pausing awkwardly circulated widely, contrasted with Mkhwanazi's steady and commanding delivery. Public commentary was merciless. Many South Africans praised Mkhwanazi for her fearlessness in holding the president accountable, while others criticized Ramaphosa for failing to deliver clear and decisive answers when strength was most needed. Analysts debated whether this was a serious tactical failure exposing weakness or simply a rare, human misstep from a leader under pressure. Regardless of interpretation, one fact was undeniable: if the ANC, once viewed as a disciplined political machine, suddenly appeared fractured and unprepared. Behind the scenes, senior ANC figures rushed to control the fallout. Reports surfaced of emergency meetings where party leaders drafted statements reinforcing Ramaphosa's commitment to transparency and his insistence that investigations should proceed. Yet these attempts did little to undo the damage. The image of a cornered president overshadowed carefully scripted reassurances. Commentators noted that the optics of Ramaphosa faltering under Mkhwanazi's relentless questioning would linger in the public consciousness far longer than any official statement. For Mkhwanazi, the session was transformative. Her meticulously researched questions, combined with her composure under pressure, elevated her from opposition leader to a potential national figure. Supporters hailed her as a voice of accountability, and her reputation grew almost overnight. Observers recognize this not only as a defining moment for Ramaphosa but equally as a breakthrough for Mkhwanazi. The confrontation also revived an old debate about the role of Parliament itself. For years, critics had lamented that it had become more about spectacle than substance, with theatrical posturing taking precedence over genuine oversight. Yet Mkhwanazi's performance suggested a shift, an opposition prepared to use the chamber to demand real transparency in real time rather than merely trading political blows. The implications for the ANC were profound. Cracks within its leadership became visible, exposing vulnerabilities long concealed. Unity, once touted as the party's greatest strength, suddenly seemed fragile. For ordinary citizens, the day's events served as a powerful reminder: accountability is not just a campaign slogan or a manifesto promise, but something the public can demand loudly, openly, and witness live on national television. Whether Ramaphosa's authority has been permanently damaged remains uncertain. Some predict he may recover by refining his messaging and presenting a stronger, more unified front in future sessions. Others believe this was the beginning of a steady decline, with each confrontation further eroding his credibility. Either way, South Africans are unlikely to forget this parliamentary clash. The president's faltering response to Mkhwanazi's unyielding challenge left a lasting impression on the nation's politics. For now, the balance of power, if only briefly, shifted within the parliamentary walls. A president struggled to control the narrative, while an opposition leader seized the moment. The questions that linger are urgent: will the ANC close ranks to support its leader or splinter under criticism? Will civil society, emboldened by Mkhwanazi's example, amplify demands for reform? And will the opposition harness this momentum to transform a single fiery exchange into enduring political leverage?